Morning, good morning. Good morning to our online participants. Good morning, everyone. I hope we had a restful night.
Recording in progress.
Thank you so much for joining us again today. And I believe we've learned one or two things since the beginning of this workshop. Yes. So in order to go straight to the business of today, let's have the opening prayer. I want someone from online participant to please take the opening prayer. Please, one person. Let me. Okay. Yes. Permit me if I'm wrong. I'm sorry. Is Miss or Mrs. Oye Dapo Comfort Eboluwa. Please, can you unmute? And if possible, share your video while you take the opening prayer.
Good morning, everyone.
Good morning, Ma.
Can you hear me?
Yes, we can.
Okay, good morning. Okay. In Jesus' name.
Amen.
Heavenly Father, we thank you for today. We thank you for all we've learned from Monday till now. We thank you for all the facilitators that have come and given their time. We thank you for all of us that have gone every day and come back. We thank you for today, the facilitators that are going to teach today. Lord, we ask that you will give them the wisdom to explain in a way that we will understand and share the information that we all need. And every one of us will learn from today in Jesus' name.
Amen.
And today we'll all go back filled again. In Jesus' mighty name, we have prayed.
Amen. Amen. And amen.
Amen.
Thank you so much, Ma. Yes, so we are to go to the opening remark by Professor Adebayo. But before we go to that, I would like to have 2 or 3 participants talk, maybe 2 from online, 1 from physical, just to tell us your expectation so that we know you are with us. Yes, because I already shared the timetable and we all know what we're expecting today. So let's just hear. This will also help our facilitators so that at the end of today, you know if your expectations has been met or not. Okay, so do I have someone from the physical participant before I go to the online participant? What are you expecting today? I don't want to pick randomly. I want you to just raise up your hand and just speak. Okay?
Okay, as we've been told that we are going to get our hands very dirty today, so I'm really expecting my hands to be dirty with our facilitators giving us a rundown on how to unlock the power of Docker and Kubernetes. Thank you.
Thank you so much. I'm sure the facilitator is aware. People are ready to get their hands dirty. That's nice. Sorry, please, who is Barrows? Can you unmute and just tell us? And like I mentioned yesterday, that please, when you're joining us, please join with your real name. I can see Umbo. I don't know if that is your real name. I can see Alagat for certification purpose. We need your full name, please. So who is Barrows or Barrows? Okay. If the person is not there, can we have Chinedu Otsuya? Chinedu Otsuya, thank you.
Yes, good morning. Good morning. I heard about the workshop some weeks back, and my name is Chinedu Otsuya from National Universities Commission. I'm also an Eagle 2008 as I graduated from CU. I heard about this workshop some weeks back, and I really planned to attend, but unfortunately, I wasn't given approval from the office and all that. So, but I got the online details just this morning from Engineer Matthew Bola. And I really would like to learn what this workshop has to offer. I haven't seen the agenda, I haven't seen the timetable, so I'm just really new here, and I really like to participate as much as I can. Thank you.
Thank you so much, sir. So I will send you the timetable afterward. Thank you for joining us. Yes. Okay. So can I have Mr. Adebayo Samson?
Good morning, everyone. Can you hear me?
Yes, sir. We can. Good morning.
So I hope to learn Kubernetes multi-cluster management.
Okay. Thank you so much. Yeah. So let's go straight to the opening remark by Professor Adebayo.
Okay. Hi, everyone. Good morning once again, and it's nice to see that the hall is full with the physical participants, and even from online, the online participants are not doing badly too, and the online platform is getting heavy gradually. So it's been very, very exciting since day one up until yesterday. Yesterday was so really, really, really loaded. We have a very in-depth and very expository keynote by Professor Tako, who is my long-term collaborator. Was able to do justice to the topic I was giving. With topic, the entire presentation is available in the WhatsApp group. Kindly avail yourself to pick it up. There are too many things in that presentation that you may want to relate with. And afterward, we had the Morning Point presentation, which was also very wholesome. And we saw how Monify is being used alongside the Google Cloud to build very secure payment platform. And from went to cloud security desk. And one of us in the FEDGEN group, that is engineer Mrs. Olubunmi Sweet Williams, did very solid justice to that topic. And the way the pedagogy was really, really impressive, very, very impressive. The class was very interactive. Eventually, some people even won some nice nice gifts. So, and from there we went ahead. We had a shot from Dr. John F. Young, which was really, really very okay, very, very solid. I'm sure quite a number of persons would have contacted him for deeper dive on cybersecurity fundamentals. Okay, so we are here today. Today is really loaded, and I'm sure we are expectant, relax, interact, network, and let's make it a better day than what we had yesterday. So I welcome everyone to this third day of the workshop. God bless you, and have a very, very awesome time. Thank you.
All right, thank you so much, Professor Adebayo. That remark is awesome. And as everyone is very, very expectant, it's therefore necessary for us to just go straight to what we have for today. And I will introduce the facilitator. But before he comes in, he will take the mic. Mrs. Comfort Lawal will read his profile. So I have the pleasure to call on Mr. Femi Adebayo. He's the head of Cloud FCMB.
Okay, so Mr. Olorunfemi Adebayo, please can you rise while we're, yes, so that they can identify the person we're reading his profile. Okay, so Mr. Olorunfemi Adebayo started his career creating bespoke softwares for e-learning and school management. His software was acquired by Oyo State government. Wow. He then moved to the finance industry where he deployed cloud infrastructure for Office of the Accountant General of Nigeria for national payment solutions. He later joined FCMB Group and currently the head of cloud, leading FCMB Nigeria, UK, and other subsidiaries. No, exactly. He's currently a PhD candidate researching how to browse the internet using light. Wow. Very interesting. He already said that he creates bespoke software, so I'm not surprised you're picking this particular topic. We are very excited to have you join us today. It's a great privilege. Thank you so much. You're welcome, sir.
Thank you very much. Thank you very much, everyone. It's good to be here. So today I think there are two methods of learning learning anything cloud. There's the normal traditional method where we go through the theory and then we take different concepts one by one. Then we look at the concept one by one because everything cloud is actually about concepts, not necessarily the technology. Once you understand the key concept, you can design anything. And that's the position I want us to be by 4 o'clock today. So I'm not going to be using there are two methods. There's mechanical engineering method and there's the mechanic method. So today we will not be using the mechanical engineering because we have very, very limited time. It takes about 4 to 6 months to understand Kubernetes fully. But here we have few hours. So we're going to be using the mechanic method. So I'll be dealing with concepts and designs, and then we're going to do some practicals. Is that okay? All right. So, what is it? Okay, so I hope we have all downloaded the softwares. There's a list that I sent earlier. I hope you have all downloaded the softwares because some of them take like 30 minutes to download. And if you don't have them, it might actually slow you down while we are working. Can I have the smarts? I want to draw. Yes. Okay. Okay. Thank you very much. So I'll be doing a lot of drawing, and so that you can understand basic concepts. So everything about cloud infrastructure, no matter the kind of infrastructure you are designing, is the same thing anywhere in the world. Either you are doing it on your PC or you are doing it for OpenAI or Google. It's actually the same concept. So once you understand the basic concept, you can always multiply it and then make it to scale. So there's something we called software development cycle, software development life cycle. And this is where I want us to start from. Whatever we want to deploy on the cloud, maybe Kubernetes, that's going to be the final part, Kubernetes. If you want to use Kubernetes or you want to use Cloud Function or whatever tool you want to use, at the end of the day, you want to deploy a software. That's what you want to do. There's a particular software that you have built and you want to deploy. Now, you deploying that software, you might be the only one using it on your laptop. Or you want to deploy it so that 1 billion people can use it at the time, just like we have on Instagram today or TikTok. We have billions of people using the application at the same time. So you don't want it to be a situation whereby there is Black Friday and a lot of people jump on your infrastructure and then the service goes down. You don't want that kind of scenario. So that's why we have Kubernetes in the future. But the beginning of everything you want to do is software development lifecycle. So you have an engineer. There's a guy here, and he's the software engineer. So this guy is the one creating the software, and he's pushing his code to GitHub. There's a box here called GitHub. I hope you have also registered for GitHub because it's part of the list. Yeah. So this engineer is pushing his code to GitHub. As at this stage, if you are a cloud practitioner or a DevOps engineer or SRE, you don't have any business here yet. The only thing you are doing here is just making sure that this guy is following normal software, security feature, and things like that. So once this guy pushes code to GitHub, then your job is to make sure that his code can be built. And what we mean by building of his code is that the software he's writing is called business logic. And what that means is, let's say we want to write a software calculation. Whenever you enter two, and you enter two numbers, the software just do multiplication of those two numbers. So when this guy writes that software that calculates two numbers and push it to GitHub, you want to build that software. What building means is that it might not just write the logic alone. There are other dependencies that is taken from outside. Example, I heard that MoneyPoint was here yesterday, and they talked about Monify. So that is a dependency. They probably will have said, okay, go and use our API or go and use our SDK. That's software development kit. So those things, this engineer has to package it with his own software and push the entire package or the dependency to GitHub. Now, you can't keep iterating manually. I can just take his code and put it on this is my infrastructure here. So this is like maybe AWS. Okay. So this is like AWS or GCP. Okay, I also heard that you talked about GCP yesterday. So this is like AWS. This is the cloud, the final destination. I can just take his code, zip it. We all know zip, right? When you zip something and just throw it here, it will work. But now imagine that we have 1,000 of this guy, 1,000 engineer, and they are changing things on their software almost every 1 hour. And those things have to go to production every 1 hour. Because company like Capital One is like one of the biggest banks in US. They ship almost every 30 minutes new changes to their software. How many times do you want to zip something and then push it to AWS or GCP? It will be very, it's even impossible. So what you want to do is you want to automate the entire process. Once this guy builds the software, push it to GitHub, you want to run some actions here. That action now package it, put the Monify API or SDK, put everything that it needs, dockerize it, and then push it here. So that's the basic software development lifecycle. That is what it means. Hope you understand that concept, because you are going to practicalize it also. So this entire thing, and that's what everybody is doing. Either you are a local engineer somewhere in Nigeria, or you are in Google. That's what everybody is doing. And I just want you to know that whatever we are going to learn here today is the same thing they are doing everywhere in the world. It's not like there's a junior knowledge something or there's a senior knowledge. It's the same knowledge. And if you are able to achieve this today, your certification will be a very big deal, really. So I will take this off now. That's the first concept we'll be learning, software development lifecycle. Then the second concept, with those two concepts, then we move to Docker and then practicalize something. The second concept is there is something called a three-way application. That application that engineer designed, it is just, I told you it's business logic, but most of the time, that business logic has a front end. So there is a front end, then there is a back end, and there's the database. Please don't forget this concept, because when we are doing the practical, those are the things we'll be using. So most of the time, when we started our career, we are everything. We are the one that designed the front end, we designed the back end, we are the one managing the database. We did everything. And we package everything inside a single place, and then we just throw it somewhere, and it will work. Like the school management system software that was mentioned earlier that I designed. I practically built it in 1.5 years. Just writing the front end, writing the back end, doing everything myself, alone. It was stressful. I would have just done it in probably 1 month if I have a team that is, and we are doing separation of concern. So because everything we want to learn here today, we want it to be like international standard. So I won't be advising that when you are building a software, you push everything together. You have to separate concern. Your front end is what your users are seeing. So for instance, if you go on TikTok or Facebook, or you even go to CU website, that page that you are seeing is the front end. That's what your customers, and there's some people that's their own domain. That's what they do. They use React, they use Vue, they use a lot of tools to build that front end. So you have to package this as a separate application entirely. This guy is the back end. That's where you have your Java, your Python, your PHP, all those stuff. That's where you have it. So what this guy is doing is the one with the business logic. What business logic means is the one doing the processing. If you are filling a form like Google form and you enter your name, you are entering your name on the front end. When you press submit, that data is going somewhere. And that somewhere is the back end. It's the one that takes that data and filter it, and it exposes API. So what API means is application programmable interface. So this guy, they are communicating via API. What this actually means that this guy will send data, just your normal name, date of birth, phone number, send it to this backend. This backend will package it the way it's supposed to package and format it, and then store it in your database. So with these three things, you can build any software. Actually, every software in the world is just these three things, majorly. There are other tools that people use today, like Kafka, Message Broker, all those. Don't worry about that today. But with these three things, you can build anything. I mean, just think about any software in the world. You can build it with just these three components. And our job here today is to make sure that we can sustain these three things easily, and we can also scale it. So what people do before is they use tools like, if you are writing PHP, and you can write this front end, you can expose API from your back end, then you can use MySQL as your database, and then you can pretty easily connect this together, and they will talk to one another, and you'll be able to design any software. And today with AI, so everything we're going to be doing today is not going to be things you have to remember. It will be, I'm going to teach it in a way that the way you will be working in a normal workplace. So in a normal workplace, you have Stack Overflow, you have Google, you have ChatGPT. You use all these tools for productivity. You know, in online school, they will say, don't teach, don't no, we cheat here. So actually, the reason why tech can easily grow fast is because everybody exposed everything to every other person. So the only thing you are hiding is you are buying time so that I will be the one to release it first before other catch up. But eventually, when you see that the market is not big enough, Elon Musk did something. His car, Tesla, he had to release the documentation of that car so that there will be enough people participating in that market for him to even have a better market share. Because if he's the only one, he cannot cover very fast. And if he cannot cover very fast, they will shut down electric vehicle. So he had to release the documentation. So in software development, I'm going to be using ChatGPT. I'm going to be I can even ask it to write code for me that will do front end, back end, and I can always get database on Docker, and it will work. So any application you can build today, there's even vibe coding. You don't have to know how to write programming, and you can create this. So the first thing we will do is to make sure that we are able to do this successfully. Once we are able to do this successfully, then I will now take you to how you can now Dockerize it and then make it work. So by that time, what's the time now? What? By 10:30. Okay. So I'm going to give us a task from, what's the time now currently? 20 minutes or 10. Okay. So no, I'm going to break in by 10. I have a meeting, I have to join by 10. So, but I will give us a task to do from 10 to 30 break. And this is what we are going to be building. I'm going to show us now. So let me go back to, but do we understand this concept? Are we sure? And you are ready to build some application now? Okay, all right, let's do that. Yeah, 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 yeah. No, not that. Okay, any questions so far? Okay, yeah, go ahead.
Mr.
Yeah.
Mr. Femi, thank you for this.
Ọlọ́run Femi.
Ọlọ́run Femi, yeah, thank you for this plain introduction. Uh, for some, let's say 1 or 2 years, I've been really struggling with the concept of API. So I don't know if you can explain
Okay.
in.
Okay, so let me just make it brief because we are not teaching software development. It's majorly infrastructure. But the purpose of API is so for instance, two services want to communicate. Let's say today, I have an application that I have built, and I don't want to create registration for onboard, but I want my users to be able to register on my application. So, but I don't want to go through the stress of saying what is your name, your email address, your phone number. I don't want to go through that stress. Google has already gone through that stress, and most likely, majority of the people have Google accounts or Facebook accounts or some social media accounts. So what I can do is I can talk to Google. This person is my user. Just give me the person's information. So you will see that some websites, when you go there, they will say log in with Google. So what is happening there is that when you go there to that website and you choose log into Google, what you are doing is you are telling Google to share your information with that thing. So what Google and that company just do is they exchange APIs. What API means is they will package the person's name, phone number, depending on the amount of thing you want to collect. They will put it as text in a JSON format. I'm going to show you what JSON looks like. In a JSON format, and they will send it to that company. Then the company receives it and then store that data. So anytime you are coming back to login, you can just go through that same route of logging with Google. So Google and that company has no business together. They don't have any contract or anything together. But they can share data, information based on your authorization. So that data they are sharing together is what they call is an interface, but it's an application programmable interface between them. Do you understand the concept now? Yeah. Thank you. Any other question? Why I share my Okay. So we are familiar with this interface, right? This is ChatGPT. All right. I'm struggling to see my mouse here. Okay. 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 That'll be perfect. Let me read. I think we are here now. All right. So I will just do a simple thing. Somebody can give us an idea of anything we want to work on. Okay, let's do it this way. I'm going to type a command here, so you can just replicate it and type your own idea there. So I will ask ChatGPT to build me something. Write, and you have to be precise about this. Write an HTML, CSS, JavaScript code to tell me my gender based on my inputs. Let's there be a form to collect my data. All right. This is all I'm telling ChatGPT to do. So I'm going to send 2 commands to it. The first command is for front end. The second command is going to be for back end. So this is the front end part. I'm just telling it that give me a form. I will enter some details in the form, then tell me my gender based on the form. So you write anything you want to design. Make it simple. Don't let it be something that we have to debug. Just make it just make it as simple as possible. You can go ahead. So I'm going to copy this code now. We have our VS code, right? Great. So I'm going to copy this code. Let me see if it is done. Yeah. All right. So it has generated my code for me. So I'm going to my VS code now. And let me do this. Okay. So let me create a new folder here. I will call it code. And inside this code, I'm going to create a file called, let's say, index. You can call it anything, but make sure that it has .html. Can we see my screen very well? Okay, is it okay this way? Okay, but do you understand what I just did now? If you don't understand, can you raise up your hand? What I just did now? Okay, so the first thing is go to ChatGPT. Tell it to write you. I don't want you to use front end, because if you use front end, you can start writing React or all those JavaScript based. So I will tell it to write you HTML, CSS. HTML and CSS will give you some reasonable front end. HTML, CSS. If you like JavaScript, you can say JavaScript code to do anything you want it to do. So that's just make sure that it's a code that we have a logic. Like this one now, it has a logic, and the logic is I'm going to supply some data, and I want it to give me a response. So that's the logic. So just I don't want to use my same idea. Create your own idea. You want it to calculate electromagnetic force based on the input. That's an idea. You want it to. There's a lot of ideas. Just imagine that you are a software developer and you wish to build one particular idea. So this is the opportunity to build the idea. But make it simple. Do you understand that? So it will generate a code for you. Just come here, click copy, go to your VS code, create a folder there, and create a file inside that folder, and then drop the code there. Do we understand that? Don't worry, whenever you are stuck, just let me know. Whenever you are stuck. So we have few minutes. The second step is you are going to now tell it to create let's use PHP for now, a PHP backend for that code. So I'm going to tell it that will be my second command. So it has given me the front end. You know, the other time I showed us 3 boxes: front end, back end, and database. So now we are going to the back end. Then I will say create a PHP code for right, and it's generating the code for me. So this is actually how we work every day. We just go to ChatGPT, type some things, I'll copy and paste, and then we collect salary. You think it's not that easy? It's actually easy. Okay, well, we're having the basic knowledge today. All right, all right. So are we good? In fact, what this guy did for me is he generated the PHP code. You can see this part. He generated the PHP code and put the HTML down in case I want to lump everything together. But I don't want to lump everything together. So let's separate it. So I will copy the PHP part. How would you know? You don't have to. That's what I'm telling you. He asked, how are we going to know that we are not supposed to lump everything together? So, I told you the other time that it's good to separate them. So that's what we want to do. So we're actually going to work on an API, very small API, so that my brother there can also have a feel of what API is. All right, so I will come back to this same folder, create a file, and call it code or anything.php. And then just drop the PHP code there. That's all. Another file inside the same directory. So who is stuck? Let me just know where you are stuck and let me unblock you. Who is currently stuck? Nobody is stuck? Great. I'm a good teacher. All right. So have we created the front end and back end? Are we good with that? You are still querying. All right. So while we are doing those two, the third one we are going to do now is something around the database. Don't forget what I said. The first one, we asked it to write some query for the front end. Then we asked it to write some things for the back end. Now we want to tell it to modify that back end so that the back end can send data to MySQL database. Okay. No, yeah. No, I will still come there. I will still walk around. So I will still walk around. I know that some people will be stuck, it's normal. So I will still walk around. So I want to just make sure that I give the general instruction, then walk around. So from 10 to 10:30, while I'm having my meeting, I will also be walking around to make sure that everybody will be on the same page. So by the time we are coming back from tea break, we are just firing on. So now it's just for us to. Okay, all right. All right. So the first one, just for a recap, is we write a command to ChatGPT and say, create a front end that's okay. Yeah, thank you. So we ask you to write. Let me zoom it more. So I just ask it that write an HTML, CSS, JavaScript code to tell me my agenda based on my inputs. Let there be a form to collect my data. So I will show you the results now. Let me even go to my code and see what it looks like. So this is nothing fancy, no let me copy the directory. HTML viewer. Okay, look at the code. Look at the result of the code. This is me not knowing how to write any code. Just telling ChatGPT to do something for me. And ChatGPT created this. So this is my front end. This looks familiar now. It looks like when I want to enter a form, when I want to log into a particular application. So today, imagine that you can create this and you tell people that I went for FEDGEN workshop. Now look at what I created. So all right. So it even gave it a name. It called it gender detector. So now look at the tricky thing about why you still have to teach AI. The question is, enter your name, enter your gender. If I tell you my gender, then what's the logic? So I have to teach it that no, this is not You are not supposed to ask me for my gender. You should ask me for maybe Mr. or Mrs. and then use that to determine. So I'm going to tell it now, the same ChatGPT, for the front end. For the front end, don't ask. So you talk to it like human being. Don't ask me my gender. So let's think for it. Maybe you should ask me my title. What other thing can it ask me apart from? Yes. Okay. Don't ask me my gender. Look for other logical questions to predict my gender. All right. My predict is not correct, but you figure it out. Okay, so is asking me about my don't worry. Let's give it a chance. Let's give it a chance. Let me just look at what the front end is saying. So he said, yes, he will write it again. Enter your name. Then he's asking for my favorite color. So imagine my favorite color is blue or pink. That's a good one. My favorite sport. If I choose something like wrestling or volleyball, okay, that's nice. My drink, okay. Then I will ask it, only supply the front end. Okay, let's use this. I don't think we should ask for Mr. or Mrs. If we ask for Mr. or Mrs., that means we are giving it direct. Exactly, that's gender already. So this one is good, is a good one. So let me copy and just replace the entire HTML code. And then see how it looks like. Open with HTML viewer. Okay, all right, so he's asking me my name, then beautiful, what's your favorite color? What's your favorite sport? And then drink. Would I take beer or tea? Or okay. I think this is fine. This is beautiful enough. So let's generate this. Then I will also look at my backend. This is the PHP part. I will also so PHP we start with a less than sign. So you can note where it ends, where it starts and where it ends. It will start with a less than sign with question mark, and it will end with a greater than sign. So this is where PHP ends. This one that has doc type HTML is where HTML starts, so that we can know how to separate it. Don't worry, I'm still coming around. All right. So I'm not writing any code. I'm just instructing the AI, and it's giving me the code. So this is where we are currently now. And the last thing that we asked us to do is tell the AI, add my SQL query to the PHP code to store the data in a database, in a DB. All right. So I'm also, okay, so he asked me to run this on the DB, fine. Use this, okay, create this. Then it gives me the PHP code to do all the good stuff. All right. Then I will copy the PHP code and then come here and paste. So that's all we will do for now while I go around. Questions before I go around? Queries? Yes. Yes, I'm replacing them. So as I say that, okay, I need something more, I had to rewrite the old one. So it updates it, and I just replace. So basically, I have two files here. One is .php, one is .html. You can name it anything you like. Once we get here, then we are good. And the reason why I have to take us through this journey is this is not the infrastructure, but this is what you are deploying on the infrastructure. And most of the time, when you don't understand what you are deploying, I see a lot of guys that are very good in cloud infrastructure, but engineers cheat them a lot because they don't understand the software development lifecycle. They don't. So everything you are doing now, I'm taking you from scratch till we get to the maturity level. All right. So any other question before I go around? How do you preview the code? Okay, so what you are previewing is the HTML part. So you click on the HTML, then you right click if you are using Windows. If you are using Mac, you use your two fingers. Then once you do that, you will see open with. Then when you click open with, you will see HTML viewer. Then you can actually see this on your browser too. If I copy the link and put it on my browser, it will show. Yeah. So are we good? Yes. Okay, if you open your VS Code, just open it and then click on, you can click on this place, this particular place, to open the pane for you. Then you can just create a new folder. This plus button, folder plus, and plus is folder. 3 blocks. So we're actually running 3 services. Front end, back end, and database. That's what we are running. So now, what this has done for me, where you have web, is the same thing as where I have PHP Apache. And this one will package my PHP and my front end and web back end. We package it inside the same box because it's pretty small. Then I have database. I don't have to touch this one. This one will just get my SQL database and deploy it for me. So that is the 3. Do we have those 3? This one has packaged my front end and back end into the same place already. It's inside the same box. So do you have something like web or PHP Apache and DB? Do you have those 2 blocks? You have PHP. It doesn't matter, but you have that block. So what that blocks you have, let me just tell you, the blocks you have something like image should be something like PHP, something. Okay, let me go around now. Let me see. No. Oh, okay. Now, what I see about Mr. Dare's own is, instead of creating Apache, like my own, he created Nginx for him. Yeah, which is fine. He's also a server. Exactly. Thank you very much, sir. So actually, Nginx 2 will work, but for uniformity, we can just all use Apache. So if you have Nginx on your own side, just go back to your prompt and tell it that I want Apache instead of Nginx. That's all. I need to give another Docker Compose. The instruction. Okay. So what I said is, for my Docker Compose YAML, this is what we are looking at now, this Docker Compose YAML. Prompt. So I give it a prompt, and I said, create a Docker Compose file for the HTML, PHP, MySQL images. That's all. So I allowed it to determine which, either Nginx or Apache. So it gave me Apache. When Mr. Dare ran it, he gave Mr. Dare Nginx. So what you can do, apart from the prompt, you can also add, let the PHP run on Apache. So then it will give you Apache in your Docker file, so that we can all have uniformity, and I don't have to be walking around to. Do you understand that? Is there any other question? Have they gotten it? All right. Mr. Dare, do you have Apache now? All right. So now let me see. So this is not where it stops. I have a Docker Compose file. That's number 1. And if you notice something, it is telling me in my PHP how to add the database parts. Okay, that's fine. That's good. All right. So now let me copy my Apache, my Docker Compose.yaml. I will click copy, go back to my code. And inside that same folder, I will create a new file. I will call it Docker-compose. dot YAML. So let me see if this one is YAML. Okay, yeah, dot YAML. Then I will post my code there. Now, I said I was going to explain this to us earlier. My own, if you notice that in my own, it gave me PHP my admin. Just also gave you PHP my admin. So if you don't have PHP my admin, you can also tell ChatGPT that I want you to add PHP my admin to the Docker Compose and link everything together. And the purpose is that you have 3 different blocks of services. And those 3 different blocks of services, you want them to be able to communicate with one another. So your database is a bunch of scripts that you'll be running on it. I want you to be able to visualize the data. So PHP-MyAdmin is just like an interface for you to be able to visualize your database. Do you understand? So if you don't have it, you can add it to your query and then you are going to get it. Can I move on? Or we are still writing that? I should come? Okay. A question? Okay. Can he has okay, should I come? Okay.
So thank you, sir, for the explanation so far. So I want to ask a question. Considering these deviations, or these deviations which appears to be similar from your explanation, will each of these applications, will they work correctly or will they work similarly? That's the first question. So the second question is, what are the vital things that are very required for this to work perfectly, considering all these deviations we are seeing?
Okay, so the deviation, do you mean like maybe the Apache
like variations
like
about engines, different servers?
Okay. So they will work the same way. It's just like I have a Mac, is using a Windows. If you want to run an application, it will work. So in cloud, there is a body called CNCF. It's the cloud native body. They control how you have to build your service. So when you are building your service, you can't build your service not to interact with another service. They will not accept it. It will not become a cloud service. So either I'm using Nginx, or is using Apache, another person is using something else. They will all work. The only difference can now be maybe the command we run. So for instance, if I want to restart my Apache, I'm doing something like system restart Apache. It's doing system restart Nginx. Now, all those things that will just be the variation. But in terms of the work, they will all work perfectly. They will all work.
Okay, for instance now, what she was getting the other time was a bit deviating from what you had.
Yes.
If she runs a code, will she work?
Yeah, it will work.
Will they work similarly?
Yes,
that's the second question.
Exactly.
And the other time you were talking about some vital thing missing from our home, right? Maybe somebody has that question.
Yes.
You were talking about that this is supposed to be there.
Okay.
So what are the, does it mean that at every time you use GPT, you always fall short of that?
Okay.
Let me ask the question this way. What are the requirements, the standard, the procedure, or those variables, let me put it that way, those variables that are supposed to be there for you to work part-time?
Exactly. Okay, so now that's why I'm using the mechanic method. Now, the mechanic method states that understand the concept and you will determine what you need. Now, that's why I put those 3 boxes. The 3 boxes is I need a front end to work, I need a back end to work, and I need a database to work. That is all I need. Now, for front end to work, I know I can see my front end already on my computer. So I know that one is already working. We have not tested the back end. By the time we are testing, so, and this is very important also because it is easy for me to prepare an existing code, share it with everybody, and it will run. And trust me, you will not be able to reproduce another thing. But if we go through this concept process together, by the time you are running your own, maybe you are creating something different entirely, you will see what the problem is, and you'll be able to go to ChatGPT that I have this problem. How do I move from here? And ChatGPT will tell you the next thing. and you just take the next thing and add. So do you understand my process? So 3 things we need: front end, back end, database. That's all we need. For database now, it's just that I preempted. I should have left her and say, okay, you don't just continue the way you are. But it will get to a stage that I will now be seeing my own database, like visualizing it. It's not just code that I'll be using to see it. I'll be having a user interface, but she will not have it. So for us to have it, she now needs to go back to ChatGPT that how can I see my data from a user interface? And ChatGPT will now recommend what he has already recommended to me. Now recommend it to her. So if you are following this process step by step, not trying to cram the process, but just you know what you want to build, the result of what you want to build at the end of the day, and then walking the ChatGPT through on that process, then you'll be able to build anything you want to build. So that's the approach I want us to use. Not necessarily giving us 5 steps to building something. It is you ask yourself the question. Once you ask, then ask the AI. The AI will give you a response. Use it. Then you see another problem. Then you ask the AI again, and you and the AI you work together till you get to the result. All right. So let's move on. Okay. So look at it here. Sorry everyone. When we are saving the Docker Compose, it already gave us the name of the file as docker-compose.yml. So this is it's called YAML. It's going to be called a YAML file. We have HTML, hypertext markup language. So these people, they were looking for a name to call their own file. So they just call it yet another markup language. So that's why it is YML. So it can be it can be YAML or YML. So but the yeah, it's YAM is exactly. Yeah, it's still the same thing. Yes, it's still the same thing. So it's YAML. So you will store it with this name. You can see the name is dockercompose.yaml. Then copy the content and paste it here. You have a question? Okay, all right. So once we've gotten to this stage, we now need to run. We need to run this Docker Compose. And trust me, in academics, we don't like failing. But in technology, failure is important. It's part of the learning process. I've not done this, I've not practiced it before coming here. So if I run it and it did not run, don't mock me. Do you understand what I'm saying? That is how to learn it. You do it, you practice it, you test it, you have a headache, you drop it, you sleep, you go back, you ask for help, and it will run one day. And when it runs, then you put it online, you start making, understand? All right. So we have our Docker desktop opened like this, right? Because it's very important that it's open. So if it is opened, then we go back to our code, and we need a terminal. So I will come up here. Do you have terminal up here? Right? Okay, good. So let me do something. In my folder, this is a folder. This is my folder here. I will right click and do open in integrated terminal. I will repeat that again. This is my folder where all the things I have written today is inside this folder. Especially the Docker Compose, my PHP, my HTML, everything is here. I will right click it and then come to open in integrated terminal. So what this will do is that it will open this particular directory in my terminal here. Are we good? Then you do Docker. So it might work in different ways on your own laptop. My own is Docker Compose up. Your own might be Docker-compose up. But my own is Docker Compose up. Now you see that when I put enter, it's trying to load something and it fails as expected. Now, I intentionally simulated this failure so that you won't be scared when your own is failing. You have to read the message. It's telling you, it's giving you a feedback. And what it says is, the attribute version is obsolete, it will be ignored. So I told you this version is not necessarily important. Then it says fail to resolve reference something. So it's trying to log in to Docker, Docker.io. So I'm going to log into Docker.io now. Go to your browser and go to Docker.io. Let me do that from here.
Mr. Femi.
Yes.
Sorry to like kind of take you back. So when you were running the individual file from your system, I discovered that when you right click or two finger click, open with, then it shows you that HTML viewer. But for some of us,
okay, it's an extension. Let me just show you that.
Okay, so that we don't have to go to our browser to open it.
So you can come to your extensions.
Okay.
This guy.
Okay.
Click it.
Okay.
And you can see some of the one that I have installed here. So you can just come to HTML. So there are a lot of extensions. HTML viewer. You can see a lot of HTML view.
Okay.
So all those ones are just extensions.
Okay. Thank you.
Okay. So I came to docker.io, then you can sign in from here. If you don't have an account, create an account there. Because that's how we are going to log into our Docker from here. Okay, I'm already logged in. So here, if I do Docker login, it tells me that login succeeded because I've already logged in my browser. I think we will take like 3 minutes to wait for everybody to log in. So try to do Docker login from your own end. Let me see what it gives you. Yeah, go ahead. So my own, you see that it's already pulling successfully now. It's already pulling the image successfully. So, but if you are you on this code side, the terminal side? Okay. Your code is inside a folder, right? Right click on that folder. It's not showing. Okay, let me see. Okay, let me teach you another way, another method of it's pulling. Beautiful, beautiful. All right, so let me show you another method. If you don't right click, I will assume that I'm opening a new thing here. So you have something like this. Just go to terminal and click on terminal. You should have something like this. You have something like this. Eh? All right, so I'll do ls. This Linux command. Many people are using Windows. Okay, so if you are using Windows, you have to look at the Windows equivalent. So easy. Just go to ChatGPT. Say that you need list of folders. So let's do ChatGPT for Windows. Command to view lists of folders in Windows terminal. Sorry, my internet. Yes. Okay. So where is it? Why is it generating? So sorry, let me stop this guy. Command to view, to list folders in Windows. CMD. All right, so he's saying dir. So for people using Linux, just put ls, either Linux or Mac. Put ls. It will tell you where you are. But for people using Windows, you have to put dir, meaning directory. So it will tell you where you are currently. Have you seen it? So if it tells you where you are, depending on where you are, you can now use, let me now look for, so for if you are using Mac, you will just use, so I'm currently in tutorial. You can see that in my folder, there's tutorial here. I believe this is where most people are. This is where you are. So this is what you are seeing. Oh, I see. I see. Okay, let's do something. Let's do something. Please, everybody pay attention. I'll do this once. Please pay attention. If that's what you are seeing, click on your code. Maybe the HTML, anyone. Right? Click on it. You can say copy parts, right? You can say copy parts. So if you copy the parts, then come to this place. If you are using Mac, just do CD. Then paste the part. Don't press enter yet. CD, place the part. Then remove this index.html. Till you get to the main folder that you are. Then press enter. It will take you there. If you are using Windows, I don't know the command for Windows. Let me check it. CD also works. Yeah. So just use CD. So the first thing is come to the file, any of the file you created. Right click, copy the part. No, you're not removing anything. You just want to copy the part. So once you copy the part, then you remove the dots. You remove the name of the file dot something. So that it's only the folder that remains. Then you press enter and it will take you to that directory. Are you there? So, you are there already. So just do dir. So these are your. So if you are there already, just do dir and it will show you the list of all the files you created. You are there already. You are there already. No, you don't need that one. Before you are there. So you can.
Okay. I think she needs your attention.
When you do the Docker compose up, is the Docker desktop open? Right, can you increase the brightness? Docker compose up, then saying Docker is not recognized. Let it. Any other person that needs? Okay. You're already there. You're already in bed. Just do the Yeah. Let me see. No configuration file. You have not put your Docker Compose file yet.
Online participant. Online participant, please, we are with you. If you have questions, please ask. And I believe you're also following us, getting your hands dirty, although not too dirty now, but at least getting your hands on what we are doing. Please, if you have questions, please ask. No matter the stage, we'll definitely go back. Thank you.
I think we can continue now. Okay. No, no, no. On the file, click on the file. Yeah, the file. Don't forget to remove the name of the file. Whatever file you have copied. Try to remove the name of the file. Linux element. Okay, I think we are good now. So what we are doing currently now is we are dockerizing our first application, and I've seen some people already. They have built their Docker image. Let me see if mine is also up. Um, Docker Compose up, up. UP. Okay, I can see a lot of things running here. So this is Docker space compose space up. So now I see that, please, hello. I see that it has pulled all these images and it tells me at the end that everything is looking good. Yes, yes. Now if I come here and see my Docker comp, you can see that it has given me the 3 images here. So I can come to images. Don't mind me, I have a lot of things here. Let me just filter to. So I have PHP my admin here. I have, don't worry about this one, my SQL here, and I have PHP here, which makes sense to me. Terminal, yeah. So after Docker Compose up, this is what it shows me. So if we go to our Docker desktop and we go to images, can we see anything on the image on our Docker desktop? Please, you know one thing about this is it can get boring so fast. When you want to learn something, you are excited, I'm going to know this technology. But trust me, the life is boring. Because you can sit down with this for 2 weeks, not even seeing the sun, and you just be having problem and you just go back to it. But after you've done it successfully, you smile like that, brother. So it can be boring. I don't want you to get bored yet. You are still going a long way. This is just Docker. This is like stage 2. The stage 1 is to have a sample application of your own. You have done that. It's the engineer that will do that for you. The stage 2 is you are Dockerizing your application. And you are running it on Docker on your local. Everything is working fine. That's what we are doing now. The stage 3 is now moving into Kubernetes. Moving into Kubernetes. That's the stage 3. Yes.
Yes, sir. Thank you, sir. My Docker, I don't know, he's showing me, I'm trying to sign up and he's showing me
So,
validation fail.
if you run Docker Compose, does it ask you to sign up? If you run Docker Compose up.
Okay.
Your terminal, is that one running?
Let me try it.
Run that one. If that one is running, then don't worry to sign up. Don't bother to sign up.
Okay, sir. Yes. I remember we created, let's say, 2 codes, one for the front end, one for the back end.
Yeah.
Then we tried to run the front end on. That was why we saw that thing.
Yeah.
We did not run the back end on, right?
Yeah.
We are still going back to that.
So let me now explain it to you this way. You see, this PHP is the server that can run both front end and back end. So that means I have to create this server twice. So what I want to do is I will create it once. and I will run the front end and back end separately inside the same server. So further optimizing space, because I see that some people's laptop might not be able to carry a lot of things.
The reason why I asked that is that
Yes.
from that application that we built from the front end, the gender detector,
Yes.
when I put in my what's it called, information from that stuff, and I tried to click submit, there was an error.
Gender detector.
Yes,
okay, yeah,
that's
sure.
Yes, so that's
So
what I want to know. We are still
no
on the
logic,
same page.
Yes.
Okay.
There's no logic behind it yet.
Thank you.
Yeah, there's no logic behind it yet. Okay, all right. So let's move. This one is just to show you. So I want us to do something quickly, just to confirm that our installation is fine. It's still pulling. Okay, for those who have pulled, we are still waiting for those who are still pulling. For those who have pulled, if you can test your PHP my admin. This is my own year. Let me see if the containers have started. Oh yeah, my container have actually started. So go to containers and see if you can see the name of your folder in your container. Go to containers on your Docker desktop. Go to containers and see if you can see your folder, the name of your folder in containers. When it's done pulling, it automatically starts the service as well. So if you can see it, then open it up. You can see that I have 3 things here. I have DB, PHP, and PHP my admin. So I want to visualize how my database will look like. So I'm going to PHP my admin and opening it here, and I have this. Fair enough. Beautiful. So I want everybody to get to this stage before we move. You are still pulling. Who has pulled? How many people have pulled so far? Okay, some people have pulled. For those who have pulled, are you able to see this interface? Do you have PHP my admin? So if you go to container, are you able to see your PHP my admin in your container? Okay, can you see this? Can you see this? The name of your folder. Can you see it? You can see it, right? Hello? So if you can see the name of your folder, there's a small button here. If you click it, you see a drop down of all your applications. Are you able to see that?
Hello,
then
sir.
for the PHP admin, just click on the port. This arrow. It will take you there.
Sir, please, this is like a stock.
Okay.
Can you come have a look?
Okay, I'm coming. You can see it now. All right. Some people are doing good. That's good. Okay, just a moment. Let me see PHP my admin. Just a moment. Let me try admin. Who is that? Just a moment. I want to using password access denied. User admin. Okay, using password is yes. Let me see. Let me see my default password. Just a moment. Password. Where am I? The username is root. Okay. Thank you. Root. All right, thank you. So I've logged in successfully. All right. Okay, so please, we can talk to ourselves also in order to unblock ourselves. It's still pulling. It's not showing pulling. I believe it has put some things already. Let me comment this guy. What's the name of that? Just wait for it. Then use your internet for device with you there. But I want to just get the feedback. So far, do we think Dockerizing an application is difficult? It's not difficult at all. Yeah, no. So that one we were acting as a software engineer. Now we are doing infrastructure now. So we are on stage 2, Dockerizing. So once we Dockerize, we'll be editing something in the code and be Dockerizing our changes. Then we'll be visualizing it. So that's how we'll be iterating till we'll branch to Kubernetes. Yes. But it will not be faster. The pulling will be faster now. All right. Is everybody good now? Or is still pulling? Ah. How many percentage is the pulling? Maybe the internet. You're far behind. I receive grace to move forward. Your entire environment, just like I'm making your laptop, package is in a small image. And I run huge command. You can easily scale up your environment. That's the idea of Dockerizing. So that process of packaging it, or to have everything it needs, the server, everything is inside that box. That's the Dockerization. Containerization exactly. So this one is just for containerizing using Docker. That's why I said it's all about concept. Once you understand the concept, then the other thing is. Okay, so I want to advise something on our naming. When we are naming things, let's try to avoid spaces. Yes, we can use underscore. Yeah, let's try to avoid spaces. So personally, I prefer just using small letters, and so that it will reduce some issues. All right. So we can continue, right? So you know, this one now, instead of this, all right. So how many people many people are still pulling? Okay, fewer hands. So many of us we have pulled already. Okay, great. So are we on this interface now? Are we already on this interface? How many of us are on this interface? Ah, still few hands. For those who are done, please use that opportunity. If you have not installed Kind, use the opportunity to install Kind, because that one will also take us. That's the Kubernetes stuff that we are going to use in few, like maybe 1 hour time or so. This stuff is slow. This stuff is, there's no like, anybody need help? We are all good. You have this one before? Did you do create the one, yes, now create the one that fits. Just a moment, man. No, let me ask. There's a command that ran. so that I don't. All right, all right, all right, all right. I think we are good now. So if you have that, sorry. All right. So I think we are okay. I think we are building some impressive. There are actually some. So please, hello everybody. I want us to pay attention to something. You see, um, the joy of workshops like this is product, not just when we were saying we want to get our hands dirty, we were expecting that we will learn something very difficult that will be no. Nothing is difficult in this world. It's just the way we communicate it. Because before now, if most of us hear Dockerization, containerization, we'll be like, wow. But now you are doing it. And trust me, it's not more than this. The only thing now is if you now want to build a new system and you need maybe a new dependency, then you just add it. And that's all. And when you are talking to your, very soon in the next 2 years, AI will be the one developing most of our softwares. If today, the top engineers in the world today are using AI. That's why I don't want you to cram anything or follow any process that is not easy to remember. You are not writing an exam. So the best of the best engineers today, including Google, they are firing the engineers that know code. They are firing them and employing the people that can use AI. Because that's where the future is today. It's not the future that we are going to. It's the current reality today. So all our bank application, all our Google, everybody is building with AI today. So whatever we are creating here or what you will create later, let's challenge yourself to create a product out of it. And let us be able to showcase, maybe by next year HPC, you'll be able to showcase that you have made a product, people are using it online. You can also consult for companies. There are a lot of companies that are not currently Dockerizing the application. I remember a company that I consulted for 3 years ago. They are using the normal Linux. They build, they zip it. In fact, there are big companies today that they are scared to Dockerize. If you hear their name, you'll be very surprised. They are still using Linux of just building applications, zipping it, training it on Linux. But your Docker is actually a Linux environment. So what you are doing is actually you have multiple computers running as your Docker images on your whatever laptop you want to use, either Windows or Mac. So if you understand this thing well, you can be a consultant, you can be an engineer. It's sufficient enough to get any role. Whatever you are learning now is sufficient enough. So talking from somebody in the industry, not just an idea. Yes, sir.
So one of the things I want you to help us with in this workshop is you are not using slide, you are not using any of those things. You're engaging us, so we are doing it ourselves understanding the concept, just like you described at the beginning. So if you can just help the whole house after living here, repeating what we have done, you can just give, it might just be like 2 pages, just like you described, so that they can use that to continue and then continue to develop themselves. So they just have like a 2 pages kind of guide. This, and this. I think it's going to help.
Yes,
Thank
I'm
you.
going to share something like an MD file because I want everything to be technical enough. So what the MD file is, so I will do a documentation, everything you have done today, the command we ran, everything. So it will be inside MD file, something like this. So you can see that I have some command here. Oh, sorry. Okay. When I'm not doing anything. Okay, so we can see this. So this is an MD file. You can see that I have some command here. So I'm not just referencing this. I'm not referencing this yet. So I'm going to do something like this that we can all go through and then so you see I wrote my name with it also. So I will create something like that and I can share with us. Huh? No, it's just like encoding. So these are part of the things we do, just to appear technical. So this is just like using using slash underscore to write K8S. K8S is another word for Kubernetes by Femi. So it's just like I plan that when I come here today, I first of all show you. You'll not be like, wow. Yeah, bamboozle you first. So you know that this guy is going to. So that getting our hands dirty is you are actually getting it. This stuff, when you are learning it somewhere else, they will teach you for 3 months. Whatever you have learned so far now, they will teach you for 3 months. And you becoming daily, they will throw one at you. It's not small. So, you will not know now. Exactly. All right. So I believe that most of us we already have this interface, this PHP admin interface, right? Great. What about you, man? It's still pulling. Okay, all right. What about you? Hello? Is it pulling now? Have you? Okay, you restarted. Okay. So I want us to recap. Hello? I want us to recap. So far, what we have done so far since beginning, we talked about software development lifecycle. That an engineer somewhere build a software, or maybe you, like what you've just done today. After that time, you package the software and then you deploy it somewhere. Then I showed us some 3 boxes that you need a front end, a back end, and a database. And sometimes you want to move your front end and back end together, but if you want the application to scale, you might want to separate your front end and back end, but your database will always be separate. We understand that so far, right? Then we moved a step further by creating our own application. Somebody created a Zobo company website, which was great. Someone created for HPC. Somebody created for, I think somebody created, okay, I did gender. So we have all created a lot of services on our own. So that means we are done with part 1. So we keep on reiterating that because it's a life cycle. So, but we are done with part 1. Now for this part 2, what we've done successfully is we've packaged our application using Docker. For the MySQL, you notice that we did not write any code. We just put it in our Docker Compose. So the image already exists online. our Apache tool for the PHP already exists online. So that Docker Compose just put the resources we need. Now imagine that you have to write the entire code base for MySQL and put it on your laptop. It's going to be overwhelming. So today in software development, you don't have to do that anymore. In fact, assuming we are using services like AWS or GCP to practicalize, they already created it there. Different services. So they already managed service, and you can just use it directly. So now, that second part, we're already in the middle of it. This interface is called PHPMyAdmin, and the purpose for this is for us to be able to see our data. The database itself is not something you can see graphically like this. You have to run some command to be able to fetch the data and interact with it. But this one, you'll be able to view it. So one of the things we will do is we will create a database. This is an interface. So I want us to create a database using this interface. So what we do is we go to this place called database. Let me increase this. So we click on database. Oh, sorry. It's been a long time I logged in. So we click on this place. Question, okay. Okay. Is it okay? All right. No. She just asked me to zoom. Okay. So if you click here, you will see database. Then we want to create a new database now. So under this create database, you just give it a name. So I will give my own, I will call it, oh, interesting. Interesting. I have a database called Gender Predictor already. Can you see it here? Do you have that on your own too? But do you have the database already? You have it already? My own is Gender Predictor. Do you have any database already created for you? You have it already. Then that makes sense. So we don't need to. But in case you want to create a new database, you just give it a name and you click create, and that's all. So this one is the encoding, how your database will be encoded. So you can, yeah. So you have to look at different encoding to choose the one you will look. But the default is always usually very okay. So far we are not doing something too deep. Okay, so I have my database here already. So I just need to go and click on the database. So you can just go ahead and click on the database. Now something, because during our software development lifecycle, we are going to be rerunning that Docker Compose up multiple times. And what it's going to be doing is, it is going to be destroying the entire infrastructure and recreating it from scratch. You see, that's the beauty of this stuff. But you have to be careful. You can't touch your database. Your database is, if you are losing everything, don't lose it. You can lose your code, but don't lose your database. Do you understand? So, but if somebody should remind me whenever I want to rerun that Docker Compose off, in case I forget, we have to comment out the database part so that it doesn't touch our database. It just leaves it like that. Do you understand what I'm saying? So this is our database. You can update your database. So if you want to update your database, let me show you. You know, here I have DB. I have MySQL 8. So I can change the version. That's the update of database. But updates of the content of the database will be done programmatically from your backend. So you don't have to touch it here. And you only update your database when the people that are sustaining it have released a new version. And you don't just update. You check if there's any vulnerability. Exactly. All those tab. It has to be stable. In fact, most of the time, I like seeing reviews of people that have used it. They will have mentioned a lot of complaints and check, and they resolve it. It's after then that we now adopt those stuff. All right. So let's do something. If you remember on ChatGPT, if I go back there, when I was asking it to create my database stuff, it created some command. Yeah. So this is now the time to use this command. You can see that first, it said first create a table in MySQL. And it gave me the code to run for that table. So I will now copy this code. I will do it line by line because it has I can run everything together, but I like so that you understand what this table is doing is. And now, why am I taking you through all this stuff? This is not Kubernetes. Why am I taking you through all this stuff? Is for you to understand the entire software development lifecycle. If you understand the entire thing, then you become an infrastructure engineer. If you just learn Kubernetes alone, is what do you want to use it for? It's useless. If you don't understand how to deploy, what to deploy, and how to manage, it's not just for us to run Kubernetes, do this, Kubernetes, do that. It's what are you actually deploying? Because when you are giving engineers advice or management of the company, when you are giving them advice, you are advising them based on your knowledge of scalability, stability, security, all those stuff. That's what makes you O. So I'm taking you through all these components so that by the time we are done today, you understand the entire life cycle and you can decide to tweak anything on your own that we have not even talked about today. So this is MySQL. You can decide not to use MySQL, that you want to use Postgres and perform some experiments. You can decide you want to use MongoDB. So, but you will understand the core concepts and then be able to innovate.
I just have a note to add to what you've said, so that it's for all of us actually. And you've mentioned it, but I just want to emphasize on it. Yes, we are using chat now. Some of us, what we have actually uploaded or run, we don't even understand how the codes are arranged. In case of debugging, in case you want to even add some few things, because you won't want to change the entire code and copy and paste. So you need to understand how those things run. If you want to just make little changes, I just want to emphasize that so that also encourages us, after living here, we should have some fundamentals so that we can change some few things ourselves without changing the entire. Oh, thank you.
Exactly. So that's why I'm taking my time to explain what different lines, what they mean, so that by the time we are reading it again, and most of the time it's not difficult to read code if you just read it. And when you don't understand, copy that line of code, give it to ChatGPT, say, explain this to me, and it will explain it to you. So it's life is as easy as that. It's very, very easy. I wish school can be like that.
Even if you have those issues,
Yes.
you can copy your code and say, I want to modify this and this in
Exactly.
this code.
Exactly.
Please, where should I insert this, and insert that?
All right. So now, what this MySQL script is telling me? So MySQL script is what we run on MySQL database. It says that if you can just read this, what was this? Everybody read it together. So what do we think it will do? What do we think that line will do? Exactly. It will create a database. It's as simple as that. So you see that we can read code now in this class. All right. Now, if I don't have the database, I can just run this code and it will create the database. But most of us already have the database on our PHP-MyAdmin, right? So we don't need to, where is it again? If not exists, exactly. So that's more robust. I'm trying to look for the PHP-MyAdmin again. Okay, there's it here. Let me bring it somewhere here. All right. So I already have this, and so this one is saying use gender predictor. That means in case you have a database that is already the default database, you are telling it to use this one. It might be necessary for some of us to run that. It might not be necessary for some of us, but I will ignore that for now. But you can run it just for, yeah, go ahead. Okay, so it came, look at this. I asked it that add my SQL query to the PHP code to store data in the database. That was the prompt I used. So what you can do, JS, yeah, so you can do JS, exactly. So I love what she's doing. Instead of PHP, she decided to use JavaScript-based backend, which is something very nice as well. Okay, so now this is the main thing, because in a database, and this is MySQL specific. It also works with all those other relational database. What relational database mean is that, now I have to draw again. So the different database, for instance, now if we have on our phone, attention please, on our phone, we have contact lists, right, of people, of our friends and families. So inside our phone, there is a database that store that contact list. Anytime we collect somebody's number and we put the person's name and we click save, it's the same process like what we are about to do. So it stores that information inside a particular database somewhere on our phone. So the same thing. Okay. So yeah. So what it does is it just saves it on our phone. So on the kind of database we are using is a relational database, and the way it works is it works with columns and rows. That's many rows and many columns. So for instance, this place is serial number. Just to have it 1, 2, 3, 4. Now this one is, let's say, name. If you are collecting name of people, so you have somebody's name here. This one can be age. Maybe the person is 17. This one can be phone number 080 something. So for each data of a specific person, the person has a row. I can store another person's name. So when you collect somebody's phone number, what it does, if it was a relational database, it stores it in a row. Under this SN, it will automatically create SN. Then the name you entered, it will come and drop it inside this name. The age, if you are storing the person's age, put it here. The phone number, it will put it here. So as you are adding more data to the database, it keeps on creating new rows. The column is the field of the data you want to store, but the rows is like the different data. So if I'm something for the first time, maybe I'm registering on a website, they will take my data and come and create a row for me. So anytime I want to log in again, what they do is they collect the data I want to log in with, come to this place, compare it. Is it the same thing? Yes, it's the same thing. Now you can log in. You see, that's the logic that your backend is doing. And if it is not the same thing, they will not tell you that your username and password is not correct. So what they are doing is the data you are sending to them, are comparing it with, they are matching it with one database. If it's compatible, go in. If it's not, they bounce you. Do you understand that concept? So for our own specific application, we are just storing data on our database and visualizing it. And if you now want to create a lot of logic that says that if you are 17 years old, you cannot enter this particular place, you have to be 18. So all those ones will be done by your backend, by your PHP or your Java or anything. I just want to show us the core concept of how a relational database works. There is also non-relational database like MongoDB, a lot of other database. But for now, let's just focus on this relational database. So relational works with columns and table. Columns and rows, just like I said. But non-relational database, especially NoSQL. So this one is SQL based. So most of the time they work as JSON files, as a document. So each of your data is not structured like this. It's unstructured. You can structure it anyhow you like. Yeah. You want to say something? So I don't know what you have created, but I will advise for those who have complex structure on their form, it will be a bit different, which is a beautiful thing. But based on what I have asked it to do, you can see that this database table that you want to create. Just like I show us rows and columns the other time. Table is having these columns. These are the columns. And it says ID, which is the SN that I showed. That's showing 1, 2, 3. So every new line I create is giving it a new ID. Then this is the name. Because on my form, let me show us my form. I'm collecting name. So the column on my database will be dependent on what I'm collecting from the front end and some other things that I might want to store in the database. So I'm collecting 4 things: name, color, sports, and drink. So here too, you can see that what it's telling me to do is to create column for name, color, sports, and drink. Then it's creating an additional one to say predicted gender. So that means once it predicts the gender, it wants to store it in the database. And also a timestamp created at. So the time that it performed that logic, you also want to store it. This one is not coming from the front end. This is the logic from the back end that is doing all the last 2 1. You might not have it. You might decide not to have it if it's not important to business use case. So I'll be using the terminology like business use case now, because whatever you are designing, the logic is called business logic. So the business logic here is saving the predicted gender and also the timestamp. And so I'll just copy this to the command to create the table, and I will come here, and I will come to SQL. I can manually create the table here, but I don't want to do that. So I'm coming to SQL and running it here. I scroll down and I press go. So before I press the go, I want us to look at it once more. I copied that command, SQL command, come to my PHP admin, go to SQL, paste it there, scroll up and press go. And once I press go, this is what it creates. If I come here and click on my database, you can see that it has created a table called predictions. And if I open predictions, you can see these columns that it has created for me already. I can manually insert values into this column. I can manually populate it just for test purpose. I won't put anything here. It will automatically, I can put 1, but it will automatically create 1. So the name here I can put Dare. His best color is black. It's not you. I the only Dare. Then the sports, he like Tente. Then drink, he just drinks water. The predicted gender. Then then you see they created art. That is the timestamp. I can come here, click this calendar, and select. But I'm not doing that. I'll just click go, and I come to browse, and you can see that the data is already here. So this means creating the data on the database just to show you that you can do that. But that's not the goal. You want to be able to enter it from the front end and it stores on the database. All right. So how many people have been able to get to this stage? Or questions? So once you paste the code, if you come to SQL, paste the code inside this place, and scroll up, you see go. So you click on that go button. It's that go button that will save, that will execute that. All right. Any other question? Code I copied. You know, we are going to probably have different code. This is my own. And the reason why I don't want us to follow me is so that we can have different problems. Once you have different problems and you solve the problem, then you have more confidence of having another problem to solve on your own. But if you are just following me, trust me, everything will work. And when you get back home, it will still work again. Yeah, you wonder why it's not working again. So that's why I want us to have. So for people that have, like the Zobo website, it's going to be complex a bit. Just pick a particular form out of the entire thing. It might just be a login form or anyone, just a particular one that you're going to work on. So you can keep on iterating on the entire thing again. But keep that code because you might scatter it during the course of the workshop. But I want you to keep that one because it's very beautiful. Like that's the most beautiful front end I've ever seen AI create. So you have to keep it. Just copy it and keep it somewhere where you can destroy others. All right. How many of us are created tables successfully on the database? Good, good. What about you? You are not smiling. Okay, you are still installing? Oh, you are still pulling. What about people online? Are they okay? Are we getting our hands dirty already? I want us to work with clean hands. Oh. So is there any issue? Do I need to stand up and support anybody? Okay, all right. I need to do that round again. I'm mindful of time. By 2 o'clock, no matter what you are doing, we move to Kubernetes. No matter what. You say yeah. Okay, so who is the first person? Anybody on this table? Okay, okay. So if you are looking at that database, we already see that column and row structure that I mentioned the other time on the database. Okay. So I think we can move on, right? All right, let's move on. Okay. So the first thing I want us to do is, so for me now, part of the thing I've generated earlier, I'm now going back to those commands. You can see here it writes update PHP code with MySQL insert. So it gives me this particular part in my PHP code. Let me explain what this does line by line. From the comment, the comment here says database connection settings. So that means there's a particular point. Okay. There's a particular point where I am connecting. So look at the flow. your front end is what your customer sees, your user sees. Once they type something on your front end, just like I did here, I type something here, you can see that it tried to send the data somewhere from here using get. Now, this place should send your data to your backend. Your backend takes it and then send it to your database. That is the flow. So now, this particular place, I need to connect my front end to my back end, then connect my back end to my database. Do you understand that connection? So this particular line, this first 4 line, what it does is to take my database credentials and then connect my backend to my database using these database credentials. So I'm just going to walk us through it quickly. Let me go to let me see if I've copied it already. So this is my code for backend. All right, yeah, I've copied it. So this is localhost. Localhost is the address of your database. So because we are developing it locally on our laptop, that's why this one is localhost. I want us to change this away from localhost. Because so let me show you something. Please, I want everybody to pay attention to this. So, because if you don't do this well, you might not be able to talk to your database. If you look at Docker Desktop again, you can see that you have 3 different services. Some people can be 2, some people can be 4, depending on whatever you want to build. Everybody has their own address and their own port. So, for instance, the name of this particular one is gender PHP and is running on port 8080. My PHP, my admin, the name is gender PHP. So if I come here, you can see that no, it's running. Okay, this one is running localhost port 8081. Then this one too is running on port 8081. You can see that. You can see this port 8081 here. So that's the name of the service and port. But let's say I want to access the service from another place. If you are using physical servers, the address will be the IP address of that server. Do you understand? It will be the IP address of that server. Then you now create a port, a particular port that it will be running on. But because we are Dockerizing everything, you can determine. In fact, I might decide not to run it on 8081. I can decide to run it on port 8080. But just make sure that they don't clash. So this second port can be anything. You can see that this one is 8080 here, this one too is 8080 here. That is the port that your application is running on. But the port that you are using to access your application is the one here, the first port here. You can see that none of it is the same. MySQL is 3306, typically of MySQL. Then this one is running on port 8080, and this one is 8081. And how are they choosing this port? If you go back to your Docker Compose. So I'm walking you back and forth now. You can see that on Docker Compose for DB, ChatGPT already gave you the port this one will run on. That it should be 3306. It already specified the port this one too will run on. Already specified the port this one too will run on. So all those stuff has been specified. You can change it. Instead of 8080, you can say it should run on 82. If the port is available, it will run on it. If it's not available, it will tell you the port is not available. Then you just change the port. So these are part of the problem that you will see when you are developing on your own. Do you understand? Is it too technical? Not at all. So I'm slicing it well, like, all right. Well done. All right. So let's go to, now let me explain the code again, the PHP part of the code. So I've said this one is localhost, but I'm going to change it. So I did one Python code here. Where is it? Okay. So this one now is calling a service with the port using HTTP. So let me see if this will work for our PHP-MyAdmin. Let me just test it. So let's say, let me get something like this and put this here. So I just want to use this structure. My ports for PHP my admin is 8081, right? So I changed this one to 8081. And the name of the service is gender PHP my admin. Gender PHP my admin, and I press enter. So that did not run. Let me see if it's trying to change to HTTPS. HTTP://. Okay. So let me try to call it remotely from here. Just a moment. Let me see the service. Oh, sorry. Let me see. Let me use localhost. Localhost. Beautiful. So you can see that localhost 8081 runs my PHP my admin. So what I would do is, I know that the name of my server is localhost and the port is 8081. So I'm code now to specify that my PHP code. The name of this stuff is localhost. Then it did not specify the port. Okay, this is database. Then the name of my username is root. The name of my password is what? Let's go to my Docker Compose root password. So I'm coming here to connect to root password. And the name of my database is this. All right. So with this, I should be able to connect by default, PHP, we see my SQL as port 3306 by default. And on Docker, my port is actually 3306 for database. Are we following? Okay, let me breathe in and breathe out. All right. The purpose of what I want to do is I want to work in reverse. We have already entered our database successfully. We saw that we can create data on the database. So we are done with database. Now we want to take reverse to our backend. Connect our backend to our database. That is stage we are now. So I want to make sure that my backend can talk to my database. So the first thing I did was to specify on my backend code the address of my database and how it can log into it. Do you understand that? So for me to get the address and how it can log in, I need to come to my Docker Compose to get the data on my database. The name of my database is GenderDB, right? So on my PHP code, it's supposed to be gender predictor. Let me go back to my database. Just a moment. The name of the database is gender predictor, not. Yeah, the name of the database is gender predictor. Fine. So you can see that in DB name, I put gender predictor there. Do we get that? Username and password of my database is in the Docker Compose file. The username is root by default. The base username is root. Then for here, you can see that the password is root password. I don't want you to think that we are getting our hands dirty. Let's keep the clean hand, please, so that we can understand easily. We need credentials to log in to database. Currently, we are using PHP-MyAdmin to log in, right? But now we want to log in programmatically, not by the interface. PHP-MyAdmin is interface. This is not the database. This is an interface to see the database. Do you understand? MySQL is the database. PHP-MyAdmin is the interface to view MySQL. Do we get that? Now, I can see my database. I know that my database is running from PHP-MyAdmin. That's fine. But now I want to programmatically log into my database from PHP, from my backend service. So for me to do that, I have to provide PHP the credentials to my database. So, and those credentials is what I am putting here. these four things, they are the credentials to the database. My host, which is local host, the user is root, the password is root password, the database name is gender prediction. With these credentials, we are not following. When we were doing installation, everybody was active. Wait now, we have not even gotten to the sweet part. We are still going to Kubernetes. Okay, question. I'm seeing everybody's faces look like this thing is getting tougher by the. But we have actually done the difficult part, or the most difficult part. We've done it. These ones are. Go ahead, ma'am, please.
Yeah. For my own code, the username and password is not root password. But that's what I used when I was logging in. But what I'm seeing here is Apuza for username and then Apuza password.
Yeah, app user. App user.
App user. Thank you.
Yeah, that's fine. That's fine.
No, but I actually logged in with root and root password.
Yeah. So how did you get this one now? No.
That's prompt.
So prompt can give you an idea of what it should be like. But you have to look. So let me show you one thing. If you come to PHP and you come to user account, you can see that you have root here. You have localhost here. So this is the name. This is a user. This is a host name. The host. So from here you can even set your password. You can change your password from here. So just in case you don't know your password, just come here, create a new user, give it a username, make the host name host, give it a password, and use that thing that you have created in your code.
So I suspect is when there was a prompt you had typed that we missed. Yeah. So we went back to use it, and then we got another.
So look at my own results for this place. You can see that password, it did not put anything. I have to be the one to supply that data in my code. Do you understand that now? Yes, which is what is inside your Docker Compose. All right. So please ask questions. Let us stop. Let's take a break for now. Ask questions. Tell me what is difficult or what looks difficult. Because if you are just going and want to cover up and we are just going, trust me, you will not understand the concept. To move around. No, ask your question. If I need to come, I will come. You are stuck. Where?
What to do next?
Have you you are still pulling. Definitely you are not yet. You are not stuck. You are just pulling. Yeah. Yes.
Hello, sir.
Where? Your Docker Compose. Okay, Mr. Udeme will assist you. So, any other question?
There is question, sir.
Okay, go ahead, sir.
Sir, please, I've not gotten the part that we are going to give it the password from the password and the username.
Do you have your PHP code copied somewhere? Like copied?
Yes.
Do you have anywhere it is requesting for host, username, password, stuff like that?
Yes. I've gone to my PHP, so I saw the host name, username, password, and DB name.
Yeah. So that's just
okay.
Have you supplied it the value?
No, I've not.
Then supply the value. So the username is usually root.
Okay. Yes, the username is root.
Then your host is localhost.
The host is localhost.
The DB name is the name of your database. If you go then your password is, go and check your Docker Compose file.
Okay.
You will go to the DB section, you will see the password there.
Okay, so I saw my SQL password.
Okay, maybe that's your. So do you see any value in front of my SQL password?
Yes.
There was it.
To do password.
To do password.
To do PASS.
Yeah, exactly. So that's your password. What about you, man? You're still pulling. I think it's space. Maybe the space on your. All right. So it's like as we are progressing, the number of people that are following is dropping. So that's why most of this application, I always like when people already download it so that we can just move. You want to ask a question? Okay, Mr. Daddy, are you good now? Okay. All right, so let me know how many people are following me so far that we are on the same level now. Just a bit. You are close. Okay, close is good. How many people are close? You are close. Beautiful. Are you here now? Are you at this stage now? From what? No. This is my own. Your own might be different. In your own now. Then ask it to rewrite the code for you to be able to communicate with database. We will go through that process again. Exactly. But it will be faster this time because that one, you were pulling for the first time. So it's a life cycle. You change something, you build it, you see the results. You change another thing, you build it, you see the results. And after a while, once you have done, you now have your final image. It's now that final image that we will now deploy to Kubernetes. So Kubernetes, for now, we are using Docker as our server. So what we will now do is we will now replace, instead of using Docker desktop, we will now replace it with Kubernetes. And by that time, we will now be doing miracle and now be conducting all the stuff. No. What you do now, you are on your. Okay, so what you will do, I will advise you to do something before you run. On your Docker Compose, if you go to your Docker Compose, you see this DB section. If you have a DB section, that DB section is good. You highlight it and comment it out. Comment is command/ or control/ for Windows. Now you see that I've commented this thing out. It has changed to green, so that by the time you are doing your Docker Compose up, it does not pull down your database and all the beautiful thing you have created on it. Don't worry, it's for her. We have not gotten there. She's running ahead of the class. Yes. No. This entire DB section. Control/ // Okay. I hope I'm not losing you guys yet. It's getting. Come on, I want you to be active. Will you switch to PHP for now? And then when you get home, you can then. It's still pulling. Do you have a lot of things on your laptop? Like, is it heavy? Oh. So after that, you can do Docker Compose down, and then do Docker Compose up back. So that means you are destroying the entire infrastructure and recreating it again. So that's the beauty. For instance, if you are using servers and you are just deploying your stuff to server, let's assume that there was a disaster and you need to quickly change your server. It's a big deal when you are just on-prem. It's a very big deal, like destroying your infrastructure, try to run a lot of scripts. It's a whole headache. But yeah, you can destroy your entire infrastructure and build it up with no sweat. And it makes a lot. In fact, you can change your server. If you have a physical server and you are running Docker on it, you can switch your server, put the same Docker Compose there, run it, it's exactly the same thing to come up without you breaking a sweat. So it makes your life easy, configuration easy, and people that are observing you be like, wow, you are doing a great thing. Actually, it's a great thing, but you just automated a lot of those great things. What's the question? All right, so how many people do I still have now? Okay, good, good, good. 3 people, 4, almost there. Madam Zobo, don't. Yes, man. All right, so what we will do is that by the time we go on lunch break, 1:30 in 10 minutes time, I will try to work with people round and make sure that I bring you up to speed so that by the time you come back. But trust me, this stuff can be boring. But when you see what you have built at the end of the day, you'll be very, very happy. You'll be very, very, very happy that, oh, I built this stuff. And what I actually wanted to use before, and I will want to give us this as, maybe when we are done today, I want to give us as an assignment. What I actually wanted to use, what was it? I think I have it here. Is this Docker Compose. This Docker Compose has Olama and Open Web UI. So you can create your own ChatGPT on your local machine. And you will ask it a question and it will respond. It's not a dull ChatGPT. It is also smart. They have trained a model created by Olama was created by Facebook. So if you deploy this using Docker, just whatever we have done now, I'm going to share this Docker Compose. If you run this Docker Compose on your local machine, you have your own localized ChatGPT on your own machine. And you ask a question and it will respond to you. Like, that's beautiful. Offline. And it will respond to you. So when people are building something, I don't want us to be participants. Or be observer. I don't want us to be observer. I want us to be participants in new technology. So today you are doing a research, AI research. You can package your AI research, the model, Dockerize it, test it, and let people use it, and probably publish it somewhere. Let's say you created something that can speak Igbo, Hausa, Yoruba. Package it, drop it somewhere, people interact with it, you become a billionaire. And you will come and give us tithes. So, and this stuff is possible, and it is as easy as what we are doing. It's as easy as that. So it's not that some people have to put their head inside a refrigerator for 2 months. No. It's as easy as this. All right. So I'm going to share this Docker Compose file in case for those who want to do the Open UI. So if you open that Open UI, it's exactly the way your ChatGPT looks. The same thing. Yes, Open Web UI. This guy. And Olama is the backend, just like our PHP now. Olama is going to be the model. So once you join both of them together and you launch it, you will be interacting with it on your own stuff. It's going to be a fun one. But I just thought that I don't want us to use this because it will be a determined part. It will work. Everybody will be happy. But you won't be able to do any other thing apart from it. All right. So I think we can go for early lunch break and then come back. So I'm going to be working with people. I'm going to be going around now while we have the lunch break so that I can bring everybody up to speed. Huh? Yes, people who need to catch up. I'll be working with them one-on-one so that I can bring everybody to it. So this one, we are about finishing the Docker part. Once we do the Docker part, we can interact with it. Then we are done with Docker. That means we have successfully Dockerized the application. So the next thing we are going to now is kind. Attention, everybody. Attention, everybody. So I want to advise. I think I've been shouting too much. I want to advise. I'm still the same person. I was shouting like this. I actually can talk like this. So I want to advise that while we are on the lunch break, let's all install Kind. Kind takes time, at least 30 minutes for it to install. And that's where our Kubernetes cluster will be. So let us make sure that we install Kind. Because We have one. Hello. We are going to be spending an hour 30 minutes. I'll be using the first 30 minutes to explain how Kubernetes work. And we'll be using the next 1 hour for you to do the working. So you work out the Kubernetes with no fear and no trembling. And so let's make sure that we have the application already installed. So I'll just be using this moment to go around. We can take a break now. Thank you very much.